Are we still doing this thing?
What thing?
Oh.
Can I get some more of that?
Yeah.
Ah.
Kessler, what's going on in the chat?
We're live.
Oh, are we live?
Are we still doing this?
I guess.
We're good to go.
Hey,
All right.
everybody.
Hey, welcome to the world premiere of the wonderful universe of This Ain't No Game. It's been 10 years in the making. Which
yeah.
when we did our first storyboards in
Those
2000.
yeah, back when it was called Trang. That was a really funny time.
Yeah, we've, you know, our budget definitely got wildly out of control there. We went through like 3 different studios.
Yep.
It's been a long and
Hot.
troubled.
Brazil is hot.
Yeah, man.
Not a lot of people tell
Hot
you.
and humid. Shooting in Brazil,
And the mosquitoes are huge.
brother,
Never do that again.
like bats.
But we're back.
We're back. We're
And
here
we
in the
did it
U.S. You know, we got through extradition, so here we are to show you our season debut of the wonderful universe, Tron.
So yeah, you want to set this up? You brought a clip. Well, let's explain what Wonderful Universe of Tang is all about.
Sure. So This Ain't No Game was originally a video series that we did here on Giant Bomb where I watched every video game movie ever made. Now, these are all movies that were based directly on video games.
And you're not exaggerating. I think you literally have watched every video game movie to that point.
Yeah, other than like animated
Anime,
stuff. I
right.
skipped animated stuff, but or just anime specifically. But
Yeah.
any live action game-based movie, we watched that for Tang. You know, we wanted to come back and revisit the concept.
Yeah.
But you know, we didn't want to have to wait for another 12
Who would?
video game
Who
movies
would
to come
wanna
out.
wait?
No, because this is fun.
We were chomping at the bit.
This is fun to do. So we came up with Wonderful Universe. It's kind of a a little bit of a I don't know, a spin-off.
I'd call it a spin-off. We brought the couch back, but and the movies and some video game stuff, and you, not the sweater.
No sweater. It's a summer series, so no sweater. It's nice and warm.
It's like a
It's actually
summer sausage.
freaking hot down here. I would not
It
want
is.
to wear a sweater.
I've
in
been waiting
this.
for this to go live for like 2 hours. I don't know about you.
Me
So.
too. So yeah, for our first movie, we're doing Tron. So the idea of Wonderful Universe are these are films that are not based directly on
Right.
video games, but are video games are kind of core to their plot or to their essence.
In some cases, video games have been made of these movies.
Indeed. Tron being one of those.
So without further ado, I'm going to speak really loudly now because we're going to cue Drew.
Without further ado,
Without further ado, Ryan, I heard you brought a clip.
I did, Viddy.
And here it is.
Hello and welcome to our inaugural episode of the wonderful universe of This Ain't No Game, the weekly series where we explore the movies that explore the video games that explore our hearts. I'm Ryan Davis, and I'll be your guide through this cinematic gauntlet, which we'll be kicking off with perhaps the most fondly remembered intersection of video games and film, Tron. Now, a lot of people have romanticized their recollections of Tron, myself included, so I hate to be the proverbial slug in the arcade machine here, but if you look past the thick patina of warm nostalgia that coats our memories of Tron and judge it strictly as a movie, it can be pretty tough to watch. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still a very striking looking production, but the pacing is leaden, the mythology is simultaneously dense and vague, and the acting and dialogue clearly take a distant backseat to the film's high concept premise.
Do you think we can merge with this memory bit? Yes.
And boy howdy, film premises do not get much more high concept than Tron. It all starts when roguish computer programmer Kevin Flynn, played by Oscar winner Jeff Bridges, gets his video game ideas stolen by fellow Encom employee Ed Dillinger, played by perennial British stick-in-the-mud David Warner, whose performance here alternates between sleepy and shouty.
Doing our business is what computers are for.
This theft leads to Dillinger's meteoric rise within Encom, a massive corporation that manages to have its fingers in businesses ranging from video game production, defense contracts, and the experimental digitization of oranges, all while apparently employing like 8 people.
Hey, Alan, you think I could have some of your popcorn?
Yeah, sure.
Meanwhile, there's a whole abstract, trippy world inside the computer where anthropomorphic programs fight against Dillinger's oppressive master control program, which controls the electronic world like a fascist police state, kidnapping programs who profess a religious belief in the user.
Hey, look, you guys are gonna make my user, Mr. Henderson, very angry. He's a full branch manager.
Great. Another religious nut.
Assimilating those whose functions it can use and sending the rest to be grist for the game grid.
You can't even travel around your own microcircuits without permission from Master Control Program.
In an attempt to break into the MCP, Flynn gets himself plunged into this electronic world where he has to team up with some sympathetic programs to escape the game grid and take down the MCP.
Get there!
Flynn's most significant ally is Tron, a messianic security program designed by fellow Ncommon programmer Alan Bradley. Both Alan and Tron are played by Bruce Boxleitner.
Alan, where did you hear that name?
Well, that's your name, isn't it?
Whose deep tan, strong jaw, and general state of physical fitness conspire to make him categorically unconvincing as a nerd.
Great.
While his stiff, stoic presence as Tron just makes him kind of dull for the majority of the film.
This code disc means freedom.
Now that's a lot of premise to process, and the film takes its sweet-ass time making any sense of it. By my calculations, this movie is roughly 30% establishing shots. This is a movie action-packed with people walking from one location to the next, and once they get there, engaging in exceptionally dry, jargon-filled conversations. Even when this is happening inside the electronic world, which is where the vast majority of the film takes place, it's still boring. It just looks like it's happening in front of an airbrushed Trapper Keeper folder. The parts of Tron that everyone remembers so fondly are the game grid sequences. This is where Tron plays the deadliest game of Ultimate Frisbee with the MCP's evil minions, and where the iconic light cycle battle takes place. These sequences are still surprisingly thrilling, and while the CG from Tron looks pretty primitive by today's standards, it holds up on the strength of its abstract design style. Still, these exciting action sequences account for maybe 10 minutes of Tron's total 96-minute runtime. They also take place pretty early on in the film, leaving the back half of Tron to be filled with Flynn and the gang's colorful, yet shockingly uneventful journey to the core of the Master Control Program. While I know for a fact that the 20th anniversary DVD release of Tron includes deleted scenes, I couldn't shake the sense while I was watching Tron that there was absolutely nothing on the cutting room floor. By the time the movie trudged to its anticlimactic and oddly abrupt ending, I was pretty sure that I had seen every single frame the filmmakers had shot. And as well as the CG effects in Tron still hold up, the non-CG stuff hasn't aged particularly well. Specifically that telltale circuit board glow that all the characters inside the electronic world have. In order to achieve this effect, all the live action stuff had to be shot in black and white, which has the net effect of making all the actors look like they're caught in some kind of bizarro, retro-futuristic, silent film time warp. While there are some key sequences where the filmmakers thought to hand animate all of the glow effects, the glow is weirdly inconsistent and the characters look really disconnected from their backgrounds because of it. It's ironic because it's clear that it took a lot of people, a lot of time and energy to make something that looks as half-assed and kludged together as this does.
Well, you guys know what it's like. You just keep doing what it looks like you're supposed to be doing, no matter how crazy it seems.
So Tron might be a pretty laborious cinematic experience which the ravages of time have done no favors. But to be fair, it was one of the first films to feature a significant amount of CG, a particularly impressive feat for 1982. And even 28 years later, its stark, backlit visual style still informs our collective vision of what cyberspace should look like. That Tron Legacy, a big-budget, big-screen sequel is being produced now, speaks volumes to the lasting impact Tron has had, even beyond our particular little video game subculture.
He's really on a roll. One Rico to go in ties, and then another Rico and he gets the world's
And that's going to do it for this week's edition of the wonderful universe of This Ain't No Game. Be sure to tune back in next week when we'll answer this important question.
Shall we play a game?
Oh.
Ba-dum, ba-ba-dum, ba-dum.
And that's
Tron.
Tron in a nutshell. So you thought it was maybe a little boring?
I've kind of always thought Tron was boring.
Yeah.
Even when I was like really young, even when I was like 6 or 7 or something, the first time that I saw Tron. Tron looks amazing in stills.
Sure.
Like the imagery from Tron is mind blowing.
Looks amazing.
It does.
Yeah.
In stills.
And still.
And still.
Yeah.
But like as a movie, like clearly they said, well, we have all this sweet technology that we're putting on display. That'll be enough to entertain people. We don't actually have to make a plot that moves or interesting characters or good dialogue or anything like that.
Or computers, like.
I think still like the light cycle stuff looks really amazing.
Yeah.
In that kind of like super primitive way, and there is a look to Tron that that perseveres, that holds up really well.
And I think, like you said, I think it still does define what the inside of a computer looks like. Oddly enough, like
absolutely, like our idea of like what does cyberspace really look like? That's Tron's it. Tron's it.
I mean,
absolutely.
They were the first. So if anybody has any questions out in Chatland,
we're gonna take some questions about.
Do you have time for Q&A before you go?
We can take a couple of questions.
Okay, cool.
I have a flight to catch after this.
Great.
We're going to.
Great. So just walk up to the microphone.
We have a couple of microphones set up here. Just make a line up here, and then we'll take one from you there in the back.
Yep.
What virtual world is better, Matrix or Tron?
Tron.
You think?
The Matrix virtual world is just the real world.
Better. I don't know. Better hose in the Matrix. Like all you get in Tron, like other than the Tron people that all look.
The Tronstitutes?
Yeah, the Tronstitutes.
Yeah.
Everyone else kind of looks all the same.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but it's like fake real world in the Matrix. Next question, please. Thank you.
How long will the season of Tang last? I think I have up to. It keeps ballooning. It keeps getting bigger.
Oh, really?
It keeps getting. I just added another one last week.
There was at least.
I think we're almost
13?
at. Oh no, we're close to 20.
Oh God. That's over. Last season was like 25.
Yeah, it's shorter than last season, but still a lot.
Stop calling them seasons.
Still a lot.
Just go until we get tired.
That's 20 episodes.
Yeah,
That's a season.
Sure.
What are you talking about?
I want a European.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Next question, please. You with the funny hat.
So you guys gonna tease us with the wizard until last? I'm actually doing these in a. I'm gonna pull back the curtain on this one a little bit. We're actually trying to do these in a chronological order.
Yes.
So 82 Tron. That's pretty much the earliest, to my knowledge. That is the earliest movie that features video games as a core conceit.
And then moving forward from there.
We get War Games, which I'm super excited about.
This is a great movie.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't watched that in about 20 years.
I watched it earlier this week. I'm getting prepped for our next episode, and just a little teaser here. That movie holds up really well, so I'm excited to talk to folks some more about War Games. But let's keep it Tron focused here.
When does Evolution come out? Or Evolution, is that Legacy?
Legacy.
Yeah.
Evolution is the game. What do you want out of the new Tron? I guess better pacing.
I really want to see how they incorporate the dream of the Tron aesthetic in today's world.
Yeah, because it kind of seems like we can finally make that look really good.
And will it? Or is it too easy? Is it cool because it was hard?
Or are they just going to like fall into that same trap of, well, we made it look really cool, so that's enough?
Are they going to desaturate
Here's
everybody?
the thing, it's the same director.
And it's the same Jeff Bridges.
It's the same Jeff Bridges, yeah.
He's in it. I can confirm that.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about like what movie specifically we've got on the list beyond War Games because we've already announced that, but you guys can figure it out. Y'all are smart, and they're pretty obvious, most of them. There were some movies that I ended up digging up in my research for this that I had literally never heard of. That were like, there's some that I'm super familiar with, like Tron and like War Games. Yeah, that's going to be week after next. That one's going to be
Porky's a video game.
That one's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about that one.
You got that one on VHS, right?
No. That one's on DVD. I've got another one. There is a movie that we're going to do for Wonderful Universe that is literally on a VHS tape. That's
and you wonder why these things take so long to set up. handing me a VHS tape.
Here you go.
Yeah, I got
Let's do
this
this.
one on. It's reel to reel. Can you digitize that, right? I got you a picture of this movie.
Let's see here. More questions.
Do you think Tron Legacy will hold up better in 28 years compared to Tron? In 30 years, let's say?
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? It might not hold up in 6 months.
Yeah, it might not hold up before it's over. Who could say? Although and it's one of those things that's like, oh, this could be good or this could be really bad.
Yeah.
Brad Bird was recently brought in to help with some reshoots for Tron Legacy.
Interesting.
So reshoots after like principal photography is done, never
Yeah.
a good sign.
Yeah.
But Brad Bird,
I had a dream with Brad Bird.
tell me about it.
It was weird. So, like you don't tell Brad.
That guy
Bird,
looks like an old Haley Joel Osment.
It's something like you don't tell Brad Bird to fuck off or something. I don't know. It was weird. Anyway, I was working with Brad Bird. I also had a dream that I was producing a live Colbert Report at Madison Square Garden.
What?
And Frank was there. It was awesome. Yeah, it was crazy.
Will you talk about Tron 2.0 even though it's not canon? It's a video game. It's not a movie. That doesn't count. We're not going to do it. And Tron 2.0 was a big bummer. Like that was like one of those things. Like
Yeah.
they executed the look really well, and they kind of advanced it some, made it look a little more modern for what was that, like 2000 or whatever. But then it was just a first-person shooter where it's like, here is your Tron rocket launcher.
But it looked aesthetically like kind of cool.
Yeah, but it wasn't fun to play.
No.
That was the big problem. If you had to play a Game Grid game, which would you play? That's a great question.
Does it mean death if I lose?
Yes. You're on the Game Grid. Life or death, man.
I'm gonna die at any of them. I'm terrible. I was always terrible.
But
at
which
Tron.
one would be more fun?
The light cycles are cool, but they're so fast.
Like looking at like there's a sequence in Tron where you see it from the first-person perspective, and you're like, there's no way that I could do
at
this.
90-degree turns.
Yeah, that's nuts from that perspective.
The highlight one, maybe.
Yeah, the highlight one. Yes, we'll call that. That's an accurate name. I don't know what it's called other than that. Yeah, I'm no good at Frisbee, so like the disc battle, that's off the table for sure.
And you have to be able to block.
I would fight the Grid Spiders because that's the one I'm best at. Or actually, I'm pretty good at fighting the MCP.
Yeah, getting up into the
cone.
up into his cone.
I get all up in that MCP cone, dog.
That's not a grid game.
No, it's not.
I had here's a little Tron thing. Tron is do you consider Tron the star of the movie, or do you consider Jeff Bridges Flynn the star of the movie?
Flynn is the star of the movie.
And Tron is just this other character.
It is like that's a weird point about Tron. It's called Tron. Well, of course you're going to call it Tron because that's a great name.
It's called Flynn.
You're not going to call it Flynn because that doesn't evoke robots and computers.
What's Flynn's whole name?
Kevin Flynn.
Okay, so call it Kevin. And then you have like a romantic comedy that takes place
coming this summer. Kevin Legacy.
On Light Cycles. All right, more questions.
Did you guys watch Reboot? I did. Did you ever watch Reboot? I know someone who's.
Oh wait, the animated thing?
Yeah, the TV CG series.
Yeah, I did. That CG.
You want to know who's a big fan of Reboot?
Rich Gallup.
Rich Gallup loves Reboot. I thought it was okay. I thought that it was a good spin on like the way that like when a game was being played that it would like create this crazy block that would come in and take over part of the city.
Right.
Like there were some interesting concepts in there, but I'm sure trying to watch the CG in that now would be really tough.
Bit. There's a guy named Bit. Of course, there's a guy named Bit. In every movie now, there's a guy named Bit. But Bit in Tron, right? It's a little ball.
Yeah.
I think it's terrible.
You don't like Bit? Some people love Bit.
Bit should have a spin-off series.
I'm okay with Bit. I mean, he's kind of the cutesy comic relief, but he doesn't overstay his welcome. I appreciate that about Bit. Like Bit's in, and then he's like, I've got this one scene where I go, yes, no, like a couple of times.
And he's with all sour Jeff Bridges.
And then and then Jeff Bridges crashes the recognizer, and then he is out. Right. All right, I guess that means that's it for questions.
Kessler, ask me a question.
What is the definitive Tron game?
Tron. It's Tron,
Oh,
the video game.
The one with the different games on it.
Oh, which of the games within Tron is the definitive Tron game?
Yeah, go with that.
Fucking Light Cycles, come on.
Yeah.
Ask a good question, Kessler. Does Tron deserve a re-release on Blu-ray? God, watching it on DVD, I will say that
If that were
No.
if that were up-resed anymore.
Yeah, that's like seeing more detail in all of like this 18-layer composite shots for everyone's glow. If you have Tron, there's a 25th anniversary edition of Tron that came out on DVD in 2002, and there's a second disc that has a bunch of making of stuff, and they actually show the process that they went through to create that glowing effect on everyone. And it reveals a lot about that movie because it literally takes like eight layers of cells that they have to put, and then some matting, and then some more matting, and then specific matting on eyes and teeth. Yeah. And it's like it's so processed.
I don't want to make Tron.
Like you could tell that they had to do a lot of analog filmmaking to create this fake digital effect, and it shows pretty badly.
And yes, Tron is the Citizen Kane of video game movies.
What is the Citizen Kane of video game movies? You know what? Let's save that assessment for the end of the season.
Are we saying Citizen Kane is really good?
It's saying it's important.
Transformers.
It's not a video game movie. Come on.
It's Transformers, the game, the movie, the game.
Don't be dumb.
They both have Orson Welles.
How's New Digs? New Digs are awesome. I like the new office.
What do you think about this new couch? It's kind of cool.
This is a nice couch.
When we, if we ever go wide on this shot, you'll see that we are actually like floating in the middle of a big room right now, which is awkward.
Stop! You're ruining the dream for everyone.
I'm all the way out here, nothing. The void.
All right.
I think we're done.
Yeah, I think this is the end of the Q&A.
Speak loudly again so Drew knows that we're done. So that's gonna do it.
Thanks everyone for watching us live here. Thanks for joining us for the
Wait, why that Persona 3 quick look break your heart?
Oh, hold on. Monkey of Doom, what's up?
Why was that? All right, well, I'll never know.
Well, there's a delay, remember. Yeah, no.
Is that it? 1 minute delay. Type fast.
Time, yeah.
Call me. Don't call me. Give me your number, your digits. Call me. I don't want to break anybody's heart.
Of course, we're going to be posting this episode of Wonderful Universe on the site as soon as we finish this live stream.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch it again, you want to see it in a higher resolution.
I don't know. This might have been higher than our stream.
Yeah, this might have been as good as it gets.
If you want to watch it again and again and again and again.
Yeah, which we encourage you to do.
Yeah.
You can do so on the site shortly after this live stream ends.
Yeah, immediately after I get up and
hit the button.
Take this mic off. I don't even know. Are we still going? Hey, are we still live?
Are we still going?
We're live.
Okay. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week, next Friday, for the next episode of The Wonderful Universe.
Are we doing this live again? We'll figure it out. We weren't gonna do it. We'll figure it out. Hey, start that again.
What's that?
Start that again from the top.
I lost what I was saying. And that's gonna do it for the world premiere of our first episode of The Wonderful Universe of This Ain't No Game. Be sure to tune back in next Friday for the next episode of Wonderful Universe.
Of This Ain't No Game.
Of This Ain't No Game. Cheers.
Good stage.
That's a bad clink. That is also a bad clink. Ugh, that bottle's no good.